1 week to make a game. That was the challenge for the 10th Brackeys Game Jam. 930 games were submitted on the theme Diving Deeper. I created 9 categories that you can find in the chapters of this video, and today I will share with you my few personal favorites for each type. Don't worry, I won't spoil any game endings. Ready? Let's go! Of course, the first thing that comes to mind when you think about diving is the ocean, and quite a lot of games took the theme in the most literal way possible. A lot of games have the same loop: dive, uncover treasures, go back to the surface, and convert your findings into currency. You can then purchase upgrades to dive deeper and discover more. In Kitten with Submarine, a cute cat collects trash to sell it and upgrade his diving speed and his bubble shield. In Treasure Dive, you collect treasures to upgrade your oxygen capacity, without forgetting that you also have to get back to the surface in time. Two of the games I played were, in my opinion, really outstanding in this category. The first one is Welcoming Gale, where you play as a marine biologist diving to collect samples. You can lose everything if you run out of oxygen, so you regularly go to the surface to secure what you found. You have to collect specific samples in order to increase your oxygen and buy a lamp and a grappling hook to explore further. I really love the graphics of this game, everything is vibrant and really well executed. You are alone underwater with colorful fish and you just want to relax and enjoy the scenery. The second game I want to mention is Fishing Time. This pixel art game starts out as a basic high-score fishing game, which on its own is already fun to play, but then you catch strange objects like a school bag and some handwritten notes, and the game hits you with a really emotional narrative. Other games were primarily focused on diving to explore without this back and forth with the surface. With its realistic graphics, Press Your Plunge makes you guide a submarine to reach the bottom of the sea. In the games Deep Seas and Finding Home, you control a fish or a flock of fish trying to find its way in the ocean while avoiding danger or solving puzzles. My favorite from this category is Echoes.
This message, it's for my wife.
You are stuck inside a submarine and you use your sonar with limited battery to find beacons and try to come back.
If I make it out alive, I'm going to face up to the mistakes that I've made. I can't live like this.
And with the main character slowly revealing more and more about his past, and thanks to a great voice acting, we understand that he's trying to save himself both physically and psychologically.
I did not reject him for what he could see. That's what everyone thought.
The game perfectly conveys the feeling of being stuck with yourself. A lot of games were endless games where you try to go deeper and deeper, whether in the ocean or in a totally different context, trying to get the best score. With these games, you have to jump off a cliff to make the perfect entry and avoid a belly flop, make a plant grow by spreading its roots underground, or mine minerals into the planet's crust without being caught by lava. For its really simple yet well-executed gameplay with good graphics and sound design, I'd like to show Bottomless Pits, a black and white, Game Boy-like arcade game where you fall endlessly while trying to avoid monsters. I love puzzle games as well as simple casual games, and I found some interesting games that fall into this category. Telekinesis is a card game where you are in your enemy's mind trying to persuade them that you are not a threat. In Memory Lane, you have to outline some given patterns to help your neurons find lost memories. I really enjoyed playing Dig and Dive, where you help a submarine by placing bombs to free its path to the bottom. The game is really polished with a good progression and a good level design. The graphics are cute and minimalistic. I also loved playing Let Your Balls Fall. It's about throwing a little ball whose only goal is to get to the bottom of a cave without shattering. But you can hit upgrade boxes that can increase your max amount of bounces, as well as spawn more balls, which leads to both chaotic and pretty satisfying scenes. Finally, I want to talk about Demo Dwarfs. This game starts as a classic minesweeper where you dive into a mine and you have to clear the most tiles possible without finding a bomb. But there is also a city builder mechanic where you place buildings on the tiles you freed to create resources, and you have to strategically place minecarts to maximize the resources you can collect. I really love the hand-drawn graphics as well as the music that fits perfectly. There were definitely a lot of platformers submitted for this jam. It's one of the easiest genres to begin game development with, and I saw a lot of games being the first ones their developers ever made, which is quite impressive considering the 1 week time limit. Some of these games take place inside a brain or in your dreams, while others are more classic platformers that make you jump your way deeper and deeper, or Metroidvanias where you find items that help you discover new paths. My favorite platformer from this jam is In There. The concept here is to allow the player to reverse gravity, allowing him to fly instead of the classic jump mechanic. Sometimes you have to fall in a pit without seeing the end, and you trigger the gravity to slow you down. This feeling alone was truly amazing and well executed. There were a lot of interesting mechanics with some challenging parts, and the graphics and overall feeling of this game were great. A lot of games were mainly shooters, whether battling underwater monsters, fighting zombies in the dark, or playing as a determined policeman chasing criminals. Some games even metaphorically take you on a dive into your own mind where you can battle distracting or threatening thoughts while embracing the positive ones. My standout shooter from this jam is Chroma Mania, a well-polished and juicy game based on colors where you play as a spaceship diving into deep space, blasting foes with your Chroma Blast. You can change colors and attack enemies that are the same color as you. A power-up system allows you to restore your health, increase your shield, and gain new powers after each wave of enemies. The game feel was truly amazing here, and I had a blast playing this game. Another category of games is when you dive deeper in a totally different world, creating a really original experience for the player. Two games are really great in this category. The first one is Folder Dungeon, and it is actually the most rated one after more than a week in the rating period for the jam, with over 250 players having rated it. And it truly deserves its fame, as it's a polished game with a really interesting and original take on the theme. Basically, you explore a computer and dive into a deep tree of folders with an RPG mechanic where you fight monsters, collect coins, find keys to loot chests, and find your way to the next floor. Another game I really enjoyed, while completely different, is Handbag World. You are a child who fell inside of his mom's bag, and you engage in funny dialogues with a credit card, earphones, or a nail polish in order to find a way back home. This was a really creative idea, and I had a fun time playing this game. Some of the games were text-based with choices to make, escape rooms, or detective games, which is impressive because it's usually hard to put up a good story and a good game design in such a short amount of time. In the Forbidden Library, you help a ghost find peace by collecting objects and discovering hidden areas. In Well, you fall into a well, and you have to play the game multiple times to unlock new characters and make different choices. One game truly masters this genre in my opinion, and it's Venta Noire. A noir-type investigation game where you play as a detective trying to solve a case. Its unique cinematographic style was incredible, and even though the experience was quite short, it was truly amazing. Even the credit scene is polished. I love psychological and emotional games, you know, like the games that make you cry. I played a lot of them. Some games like Moving On or The 5 Stages of Grief confront you to the 5 stages of grief, which are denial, anger, bargain, sadness, and acceptance, with platformer or shooting mechanics and a great storytelling. Other games are basically sessions with a psychologist where you dive into yourself to remember painful memories, like in Into the Human Mind, or where you casually chat with a robot, like in Robot Therapy. I have two favorite games from this category. The first one is Caroline's Basement, a short but beautiful point and click where you have to clean an old lady's room. You have a list of things to keep, like drawings, tapes, t-shirts and dolls, and you should trash the rest into a bin. But you quickly discover a journal that belongs to a child, and suddenly that makes all the game really emotional. The hand-drawn graphics are great, and this was a really polished entry. Another game I truly loved is Memoriam.
If you were to ask about where you find yourself now, it would be almost impossible to provide an adequate answer.
In this game, you are between life and death, and you have to find your way back to life, accompanied by a mysterious voice that guides you. You fight black ghosts and find upgrades to help you in your journey. The game feel was great here with a lot of polish. The graphics, music and atmosphere were incredible, and the voice acting was amazing. This is truly one of my favorite games from the Jam.
I'm afraid it's up to you now.
That's it guys, thanks for watching. Please tell me in the comments which game you liked the most, and also keep in mind this is only my personal choices. You can head to itch.io to play all the games from this jam. I put the links to all the games shown in this video in the description as well, so go out there, play games, support the very creative people that made them. I will soon share the results of my own game for this jam. I made a video about it on my channel, so go watch it. Until then, thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.